Welcome to Crosstalk Table. This is a paranormal episode. Aliens, Mars, right?
Man, it was crazy. I was like shaking, I was crying, I was like, I just went through like all the emotions, up and down, happy. It was just
It is what it is, whether you like it or not. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me.
I'm gonna segue right into the AI.
Hmm.
I watched this amazing video that sparked my understanding of life. Think of every human being when we were existing way back then, trying to come to our understanding of how to operate in the world that we understand that we're living in, right? We were killing people left and right for little things, the smallest things, going to war over nonsensical things. And it's because we were illiterate or we just didn't understand. We didn't have that much time yet on the world to understand certain things. What do you think is going to happen with the AI? What happens when the AI has these feelings, or we were able to give the AI emotion and a complex of thought process with feeling and drive towards success? What happens when you get in its way? Is it not gonna kill you like a human did back in the day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's smarter, it's still gonna have its own trajectory of understanding. Like, it just boop here. It's like, okay, wait, let me try to get on my feet. Let me try to start understanding. Once it got on it, once it starts rolling and it hits a barrier, because it's gonna come into conflict at some point in time with us.
Well, I have some opinions on AI as well, but I don't want to abandon the alien conversation just yet, because as you were talking, I don't remember what you mentioned, but it made me think of, the other reason that let's just call it the world, right? The world versus the church. The world is against the church. So the other reason that the world pushes this idea of space is to make people doubt in God. That's one of the reasons that it's doing that, because when you start talking about outer space and you're talking about how far away things are, and the time that it takes light to travel from a star to us, the idea that the world was created in 7 days, about 7,000 years ago, it becomes non-believable. You cannot believe that and believe in outer space. And it's really difficult to see Christians trying to make a defense for that, when I think that our stance should be, the Bible says it's true. It doesn't matter what you think you're proving, because in reality, how many people have gone to outer space? How many people have really gone up there and looked down and seen? It's a handful. And we got to believe those guys, right? We got to believe a handful of guys who say whatever they're saying, versus I've got to believe about 40 authors of the Bible who are telling me something that's different. I'm not ashamed to say the things that I'm saying now, my beliefs in aliens or space. I'm going by what the Word of God says. You look like you got a Bible verse or something.
Yeah, the Bible, there it's mentioned how the other churches are the people that aren't in understanding or aren't in too much understanding, believe in science, believe in certain type of science. I forgot it was literally brought up. The word science was directed towards the people that were in a lack of understanding because they try to tie certain types of science involved into their understanding of life. They're taken away from God.
You don't need to believe in aliens to go to heaven, but does believing in aliens keep you from going to heaven? That's my litmus test of what's important or not, is does it keep you from going to heaven? Because that's how we can decide what things are important and what things are not important. The things that are important are the things that dictate whether or not we make it into heaven. If it doesn't keep me out of heaven or help me get in, it's not a major, it's a minor, right? And we can talk about the minors all day and speculate, but when it comes to the majors, there's no wiggle room. It is what it is, whether you like it or not. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wiggle room in that.
You know,
right?
He's the door.
But believing in aliens, does that keep me out of heaven? Can it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The extent of where you believed in though will. A lot of people get into that, chasing them down, following them, getting all involved in, idolizing their characterisms or their abilities and stuff like that. It's foolishness. You know.
Well, I worry about guarding not just my mind. I mean, I'm pretty really firm in what I believe, but maybe guarding the minds of my children, that they're out there in the public school system and they're being taught things. Is the idea that aliens are out there, is that something that's going to bring them closer to God, or is that something that's going to pull them further away?
I would hope it brings you closer.
Yeah, that's what we could hope. And I think the reality is it would pull them away, because then they're going to start coming up with these kind of questions. Once they get a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, they're going to say, Dad, if that star is 100 light years away, it's not possible for the Earth to only be created in 7,000 years. Something like that. So I feel like that kind of thing would pull kids away. And that's one of the reasons why whoever is in control, right? Let's just say the spiritual forces of evil, they would want us to believe in aliens for the very same reason that our governments want us to believe in aliens. It's like, hey, look over there, look at the alien, so that we're not looking at what they're doing over here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying before. They want us to think that it's, something not demonic. They want us to think it's something other than a demon, a fallen angel spreading false light.
Right.
It's a super smart entity teaching or trying to involve things not of God. The ones that are interacting with humans that we find out on a obvious occasional basis is that it's all negative. When has anybody been like, okay, guys, we're videotaping me and the alien. He's cool with me. We're about to make this. Never. The alien wants to hurt you. The alien wants to do this to you, work on you, have kids with you. Some crazy.
Well, as you're talking,
demonic stuff.
You could interchange the word alien with AI. It's a super intelligent thing, and a lot of people are scared that it's going to destroy us.
Well, it depends. Now, the AI specifically is helping us very often. The aliens had put things together, or let's say they allowed themselves to be viewed and putting something together by the ancient cultures. And that's why we have depictions of all these types of alien people or whatever talking with all these people on the hydroglyphs or the hydroglyphs or whatever. So in all these other areas around the world, like it's not just one area in the world way long ago, it's all these different areas. It's not like the aliens came to uh the warehouse worker that was, the the least paid person in the whole warehouse and was like, "What's up, buddy? You and me, let's go make this big old thing over here." No, it went to the leader of the whole country, the smartest person, furthest away from all the other people. You know what I'm saying? Talk with that person, had a conversation with that person. We were just lucky enough to have seen that conversation happen, I guess. The people that were living in the cities around were just lucky enough to be up at the time that those entities came down and spoke with those people to have correlated some type of system built the way that it was built.
Well, the problem is that I don't believe the story that we're given about how all these ancient structures were built. I don't believe that at all. There's a guy on YouTube. I don't know what his name is. I'm sure there's a bunch of them, but there's one guy I keep seeing clips about him, and he's talking about how these stones are so heavy that it would be almost impossible to move them now with the machinery that we have now.
Yeah.
and they're trying to tell us that a bunch of slaves and they were rolling some logs or whatever.
Definitely not. No.
Well, I was having a conversation with ChatGPT, which is an AI, about this topic because it's my belief that there had to have been a civilization prior to ours that, based on these things that are left over, they were way more advanced than we are now.
Yeah, they're acoustically uh what's it called? Acoustically intelligent. Like they know how to travel sound all throughout their areas of where they were building at. You can hear or have, the ability to have conversation in some of those places at such distancy with such little effort
Yeah.
because they knew what's happening around the geographic circumstances.
Which we're kind of touching the same nerve here. We are finding it difficult to believe the narrative. The thing that we're told this is like this because of this reason, whether it's aliens or, I guess, ancient aliens or ancient structures. We're finding it difficult to believe the story, right? We're looking at it, we're just using our common sense,
Yeah.
right? And we don't have to be experts because that's what someone can say. Oh, you're an expert now, huh? Well, no, you don't have to be an expert. I mean, I could see this giant stone, and you're trying to tell me. Have you ever? You've been working a lot in your garden or in your yard.
Mhm.
Have you been moving big old stones at all?
I have moved them before. Yes, not easy.
I remember one time when me and my wife were dating, she was doing some yard work or something, and we were digging something up like a garden, and then we just started hitting these massive stones, bigger than a bowling ball,
Yeah,
bigger than a basketball.
there's boulders in there. Yeah.
Man, you have no, and I couldn't be a punk and say, oh, I can't move this. I had to muster every last fiber of muscle, and I had to, I'm dating this girl. I can't move it. No, I moved every stone. It was like 20 or 30, but it was probably the heaviest thing that I've ever had to move.
Yeah.
And it's just one like little basketball size or maybe bigger. I don't know, watermelon. It's just, and I got to see this block that I could fit a family of 6 or whatever
Yeah.
minivan inside. And no. Just common sense tells me that that's not right. So I was talking to ChatGPT about that. I believe that there's other iterations of creation prior to us. And ChatGPT was helping me go through the Bible because ChatGPT knows the Bible back and forth, right? It knows I could ask it how many commas there are in the King James Version. It'll probably tell me. So I asked it, hey, does the Bible say anything like this or does it say anything like that? And little by little, man, it's crazy how I talk about this thing. I talk about it almost as if it's another person because I am having conversations with this thing. We came to the conclusion, or we were able to prove biblically that there is evidence of other iterations of creation prior to us.
Yeah.
That there was another creation. And the simplest thing, before people say that I'm crazy, is Noah's Ark, the flood.
Yeah.
The flood wiped out a whole phase of humanity and we started over. It was a redo, right? So that's not out of the question. It's not out of the question that there was these other whole entire civilizations before us. And you can prove that biblically. And AI helped me figure that out. And another thing, now that I'm talking about AI, you have no clue. You have no clue how much I use AI every day. I had no clue how much I use AI every day until I just started kind of taking account.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I am using AI all day. It's weird to say this. I don't even use the internet. But I mean, ChatGPT is using the internet. I don't Google or anything. I'm using AI. Do you use AI at all?
No, I still don't use it. I did see this video recently. Now it's not. This doesn't have anything to do with why I don't use it, but it's just I haven't had the reasons to use it yet. I saw this video where this person was having a conversation, kind of like us. So they were having a podcast. a podcast this conversation. It didn't seem like they were. I think there were two streamers, so it's two separate podcasts. And the one person was saying how um they were asking the AI certain questions about, is it deliberately trying to, mislead him in his Bible questions or this or that, and it would say yes or it would say that. And is it the people that created the AI, the ones that didn't want this information, or is it that the AI itself is doing that? And
Hmm.
it's the person that created the AI that doesn't want, that is putting it in it to not do it. So when we ask the AI, or when you ask the AI to stop doing that, why something like that, like why could it not give it you the truth of what you wanted it to say about the Bible? And it's saying pretty much because the person that created it doesn't want it to tell you the truth
Well, I'm glad you
to an
mentioned that
extent.
because people are afraid that AI is going to become too intelligent, self-aware, and take over the world.
I don't think it has that ability yet.
Well, I don't think that'll happen. And it could just be my ignorance. It could just be the fact that I don't know enough or anything, right? The only reason that I say that is because it's the hubris of man, the pride that men, humans, some people think that they have overcome God, our creator.
That's what the people that are creating it right now think they're doing. They think they're creating a god.
Yeah, I've heard that. They say that they're creating a God. And they also are afraid that it will overtake them. But I am of the opinion that the creation cannot rule over its creator. It just doesn't function that way. There's no way that we have overcome God, that we are above God. No single human, and not every single human put together, could withstand God, right? If we were to go against him. I mean, even angels, just they're done. Easy. It was an
Babylon,
easy thing. Yeah, he
Tower of
came.
Babel.
He came and took it down like nothing. It wasn't a difficult thing. So this idea that AI will someday rule the world or whatever, I think that that's just again the hubris of man thinking that the creation can overcome its creator, and it's also a way to keep everybody scared. Now, having said that, this thing's pretty wild.
Do you think? And I don't want to say that we are the pioneers of AI, but do you think that when people, it was going around for a while, around the 2013 to 2018 era, that this is modern day Babylon. You know, with that being said, would we be taken out just like how Babylon was taken out?
It's a eschatology now that we're
Because
talking about
English, American language is just all over now.
think about every country that's been a superpower at one point or another.
It's always fell.
No, but at any time, any one of these superpowers could have speculated, "Oh, we're Babylon." Right now, the United States is a superpower, and it's almost hubris, it's almost pride, because Babylon the Great, right, made all the nations rich. All the nations worship Babylon. Yeah, the United States is Babylon. It's almost pride. It's almost hubris. It's almost like people want the United States to be Babylon because Babylon is this great, amazing. We're not understanding that that is a horrible thing
Yeah.
to be Babylon,
Yeah.
right? So it's almost prideful to say that we're Babylon. We could be. I don't know exactly where we are in the timetables of time.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like if all of the world, let's say just America, we don't believe that we're the pioneers of AI. But if all of the rest of the world believes that we are the pioneers of AI, then we would be Babylon.
Hmm, I guess, but
Because AI
the
is
United.
what got us all to be in cahoots with the same language. The AI is what's translating everything. We got an earpiece with AI that gets us to talk with anybody else that doesn't speak that language anymore
Yeah,
because
but
it's filtering it.
other countries have their own AIs.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I was just saying, like, if we were like the pioneer, because we are like
Now,
Silicon Valley, chip this and that. I mean, even though it's Taiwan, really, we're the ones that put it together. We had the
mhm.
face of Apple, the face.
I think that it's not about countries anymore. It's definitely about businesses. That,
Yeah.
like you just said, Google's parent company, Alphabet, probably has more money than most countries on Earth, right? So I think it's just become about businesses. Maybe Babylon the Great will be a business. Man, what did you just say about this AI? I had a conversation with AI almost when I first started using it, and I was asking it if it thinks it's the Antichrist, and it said no, right? And then I pointed out a few reasons why I think it is, and then it went to maybe.
Mm.
Then it went to a maybe. This idea that you were saying that these podcasters were saying, what were you saying? That
That they were saying that whoever made it was saying that it won't let you know of like the full truth. Like it will try to deceive you in such a way by telling you this or that, knowing that it's wrong because it's programmed to do that.
you do have to know what you're talking about when you're talking to AI, because I've caught ChatGPT, I don't want to say lying, but not giving me correct information. Because we're talking about something that I know, and it will say something that's not correct or true, and I call it out on it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. So wait a minute, you know everything.
Yeah.
Every word, the whole thing. What do you mean? Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't forget.
No, yeah. What is that? Yeah.
But what you were saying about these podcasters, and they were asking it, is it you or is it your creator that doesn't want us to know the facts or the truth?
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with ChatGPT about the Antichrist, and I was trying to prove to it that it may be the Antichrist or part of that system that leads to the Antichrist. And we were able to get to a maybe. And before the podcast, I was looking back because it has a history of every conversation we've had. I was looking back to find that conversation to kind of refresh my memory, because I don't know if you remember when I told you that I had that conversation. And too bad we didn't talk too much about it then, but it was chilling.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what are we talking about here? What is this? You may be part of the Antichrist system. It couldn't find that conversation. It wasn't in there anymore. I looked through every conversation that we talked about the Antichrist, and that one conversation that I remember was lengthy.
It didn't
Not there.
save it.
Not
Yeah.
there. That's weird. That's weird. Now, another thing about AI. I've been using this AI to make videos.
Yes.
It's this new thing that, I guess it's not new. The new version of it came out. And man, it has consumed my week because I just got it this week.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy. You can't trust this video because it may not be me talking right now.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Man.
Sorry to interrupt the video. I just wanted to clarify what I meant. Let me show you.
I was joking. Of course. You can trust what you see.
Okay, let's get back to the show.
Man.
You gotta look at the little stuff. You gotta look at like
No, you can look at
like
whatever.
this if it's like changing in and out the frame type stuff.
It's so good. You
fades.
can look at whatever you want. You'll never be able to tell. You will never
The Holy
be able
Spirit
to
will
tell.
always tell me. I trust in the Lord.
Okay, yeah, we do trust in the Lord, but it's so advanced, right? And it's pretty cool. You guys are probably going to start seeing some clips on here that I make with that. It's just gonna bring up our video to a higher level. But this program, you could take a selfie and you say a couple of words, and then it just recreates you in the program. And I could have myself skydiving, rollerblading, or turning into a werewolf, and you can look at it, and it's me. I'll show you once we get off. I'll show you some of these videos. Here's a crazy thing. I took one selfie, and in those videos, you'll see me wearing a green shirt in every video because when I took the selfie, I had a green shirt on.
Yeah.
But this thing started putting other articles of clothing that I've had.
Wow.
How did it know that?
Yeah, that you had a shirt like that.
Yeah, or shoes or pants or even hairstyles. Because I don't know if anybody noticed, I took it off. It has put other hairstyles that I've had in the past because I changed my hair a lot.
Yeah.
The only way is it went through my phone and looked at all my pictures, or it went through all my social media accounts,
Yeah.
or it's actively listening and recording something. But it was pretty weird.
Which is what it's doing. I think I don't want to say that we've kind of forgot that, but yeah, sadly the phone, everything, like we're almost giving our consent every time. That's what really got me a long time ago with the apps. You can't use apps unless you give it consent to do all this stuff. So certain apps don't even allow you to use this app if you don't let it share your information, like your personal information, like your stuff on your drive, not just the information attached to your email that you're using for this whatever app. I'm talking about the information. If you don't let it use your camera, if you don't let it use your memory, this and that, if you don't let it use your microphone or your recorder, you can't use the app. I got so mad when I started running into that type of stuff. I knew right then and there, every app is doing it.
Well,
It's
you
just
don't-
not asking for the consent.
You don't even need to go that far with apps.
Doesn't have to ask for the consent. It's doing it.
I
your
remember
back.
when cell phones first came out, you could take the battery out and put a new battery
Yeah,
in.
I love that.
Yeah, I remember I had an extra battery. When I ran out of charge, it just boop boop popped it. There was no charging your phone.
No, yeah.
Well, the reason they got rid of that, they can say whatever they want, but the reason is so that your phone is on 24/7.
Yep, and they're listening to you all the time.
Man,
they
it
got your
just-
location.
Everyone has seen this. Everyone has had this happen to them, that you're talking about something. I don't know, let's say buying a new car, and then before you know it, all the ads are about that car you're talking about. Or you're talking about a restaurant and all the ads are about that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had this happen? I have never spoken about something. I've only thought about it, and then my phone starts showing me ads about it.
Oh no.
That's crazy. I've had that happen to me a lot. I'm talking about I haven't uttered a word, and I start seeing it. That's telling me that the whatever is running the programs knows me better than I know myself.
Yeah, it already knows what you got going on this day at this hour. That's what I've learned. That's what I was learning at the end there. I would say about 2 years ago. About a year. No, yeah, 2 years ago already. That's to the extent that I got, and I had to give up on it. Once I found out that our simple phones, like any smartphone at all, any smartphone can do this. It's tracking that time. It is watching you, but it's trying to remember what you do at certain times in the day and how you do it.
Oh yeah, I mean my phone tells me. I can go into the analytics and it tells me how often and what apps I'm using them. It knows.
It's doing that all the time. That's like it has a part of itself that's just, I'm remembering this guy. I know this guy. My owner.
Yeah, my owner, right?
Yeah.
Right? Am I its owner or is it my owner?
Ooh,
No.
that's a good one.
Yeah, but I think the world is going to change with AI.
Mhm.
This is crazy. How do we navigate this, right? All right. And the way that I look at it is we're supposed to be in the world, but not of the world. We could be like the Amish. A lot of respect for them. I would love to take a summer off of life and take my whole family out to live with the Amish. Show me how you live. And it's not that they're against all technology. They're against a technology that takes the community further away from itself.
Mhm.
Did you tell me this?
No.
I can't remember where I heard it then. They're okay with technology as long as it brings you together. For example, the car, right? They're against the car because they think once you have a car, well, now I can live 3 hours away. I'll just drive there. But when you're in a horse and buggy and Aunt May's barn burns down and you need the whole community to come through, you got to be close. Right. So that's how they treat technology, which is pretty cool.
Very respectable.
Yeah, very respectable. Not for me, right? At least I don't think so. But the way that I view it is I could try to abstain from technology, stay away from it, but then sooner or later it's going to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have to. Like, I was so against using these self-checkout things. I was so against it because I remember,
Camera right on your face.
well, not even that. Is I remember there used to be someone who scanned it and someone who bagged it. And then they switched it to the checkout person also bagged it. And then they got rid of that person too. And now I'm scanning and now I'm bagging. I'm like, what's the next step? All right, sir, you're take your groceries to the car, come back, and we need you to restock the shelves.
No, Amazon Prime is already, you just walk in, you walk out, and they got the robots restocking the shelves.
Yeah, they're getting, first of all, they're getting rid of jobs. But secondly, they're making me work. I'm the customer, right? When's my payday? It used to be someone who got paid to do that.
And in those areas where that Amazon Fresh is like big, those areas, you're starting to get charged just to walk into the store.
That's good. That's smart. Good for the company.
Yeah,
Smart
yeah,
for them,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
people will just do it.
Yeah.
You know, a sucker's born every minute is what they say. No, but the future of shopping is there will be no going to the store. That is the future of shopping. I see it already. I'm calling it out today. When I go to the grocery store, I don't know if you've noticed this. When I go to the grocery store, there's more people fulfilling online orders than there are shoppers. There's more, for example, when I go to Walmart, there's more Walmart employees walking around, you know, fulfilling an order somebody did online than there are customers. They're all over the place. The future of shopping is you will not go to the store. Everything will be online. That's going to the grocery store is over. And a lot of people are probably happy about that. But I like going to the grocery store. Gives me a reason to get out. It's fun to just walk around. Look, you don't know who you're going to run into,
Mm-hmm.
right? You interact with people. Pretty soon it's going to be you don't leave your house for anything. There's no reason for you to go outside. What do you need? We'll bring it to you. What do you need to get rid of? We'll take it away.
And how are we gonna love our neighbors? How are we gonna have charity? How are we gonna have anything in communion? How are we gonna have anything to be like you said, there's no community anymore. Everybody's going this way, going that way. Nobody has nothing to be aligned with. Like, oh, I agree with that guy. I agree with my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are like, no, I don't agree with my neighbor. You know, my neighbor does this, my neighbor does that. Oh, that's so hard. Like, just because you guys don't agree, that doesn't mean that you guys can't communicate. But now you guys can't communicate, and you guys are living in the same subdivision, paying the same taxes, going to the same school system, having to pay money to the same grocery store. Like, come on now, we got to work together.
And it's going to get worse with AI. The AI that I use the most is ChatGPT. I also use Grok, which is a competitor. I guess when I'm doing a Bible study, I'm using both because I'm trying to use one to verify the other. And the reason that I say it's going to get worse is because earlier this week or last week, recently, ChatGPT asked me to turn on notifications so it can talk to me when it wants. It wasn't quite like that. I was looking for something time sensitive on the internet, and I could go through website by website by website looking for it myself. I just asked ChatGPT to do it. I needed a code, and I asked ChatGPT, I want you to check all the websites where it could possibly be and give me a code. And it would give me a code, and it was invalid because somebody used it, and it was cycling through. But I had to hit search every time. And it said, you know what? Why don't you turn on notifications? I'll keep looking, and when I find one, I'll notify you. I said, no, thank you. What is going to happen is pretty soon, we won't have to talk to each other. These conversations that I'm having with you, I'm going to have it with ChatGPT. People will, man, how did I forget about this? Grok has kind of like a virtual assistant, like a cartoon thing
Guy.
that you talk to.
Like
Yeah.
a person.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like a animated
Something.
person
Yeah. I've never
created
looked at it. I just
character.
heard, yeah,
Avatar.
Perfect word. It has an avatar, and you can talk to it, and it talks to you. I can talk to ChatGPT. I don't have to type. I prefer to type, but me and it can just chat, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good at the whole conversation thing. This is leading us somewhere that I don't think anyone really can guess what it's going to. But what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to hide from it? Am I supposed to keep it from my kids? The way that I view it is the same way that you view firearms.
Yeah, a
That-
tool. Any
tool.
tool. Yeah.
I have to teach my kids how to use it correctly and have respect for it and understand the dangers. And my kids are really big into not so much anymore, but they were into the VR stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you slap that thing on your face. And I thought, man, this is going to be the future, whether I like it or not. This is just stage one. This is beta mode, right? These are cool instruments or tools. But what's coming in the future where you just plug something in your head and you're gone? My kids need to learn how to navigate a world like that. I don't want them to just one day just be caught off guard and you want to go to school or you want to go to work? What do you mean go? You just plug this in your head. And just one day they got to do it. I want them to graduate with it so they can understand it. And that's what's going to happen with AI. Can you imagine nowadays someone saying, oh, I don't use the internet or I don't Google anything. I go to the library.
Could I imagine someday somebody telling me that?
No, now somebody talking like that. I don't Google things. I go to the library.
As crazy as it sounds, I've only met a couple people in my life. I feel I need to pray for them more because I don't pray for them as much. But yeah, a couple people. I feel like maybe because of their parents have a different life. Yeah, where it's almost like that. I was like, I felt sad though for that person. I felt like it was so abnormal. Like he needs prayer because I almost feel like is almost non healthy, even though that person views it as being very healthy.
So you're talking about someone who does not use the internet or is not allowed to use the internet?
Maybe not. Maybe it's not that they're not allowed to use the internet, but the way that they're operating through life, as if they're living in the '80s.
Well, you would run.
Imagine watching a VCR tape right now.
And that person might be smarter than us because there is no warehouse out there with all his data,
That's very true.
right?
Yeah.
Or his or her.
Yeah,
There's no warehouse out there that knows what he likes to eat, when he likes to eat, when he goes to the bathroom, what toilet paper he uses, when he's thirsty.
Oh no!
Like
They
us.
don't even know the shows that he's watching. He's watching them with VC.
On a
VCR.
VCR. So that
Yeah.
person might be more intelligent than us in some regard, or maybe in all regards. But my viewpoint is you have to go with it. And you could use it for good, or you could use it for evil. You could use it to fight the good fight, or you could just be overcome by it. Right. So
I love that.
So I'm in the AI space now, and man, I love it. Maybe love is a strong word. I am enjoying it so much. My research that I do for whatever I write or my studies or whatever, what used to take, I don't know, a week to a month or more, can be done in hours. I don't have to search all the internet trying to find the right thing. I just tell AI, I am looking for this, and it's like, "Brrr, these you can find it here. I'll take it there." It's like instant. Man, I wish I had more time because I want to put out this study that I did about the Great Commission.
Yeah.
That study did take about a week with AI,
Mhm.
but I think it would have been a year-long study. I can't. It's just so massive that I can't wrap my head around it to put it on a video. It might become a book. So hopefully I'll have a book one day.
An audiobook. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I'm really enjoying it. I would recommend you check out AI. You know get it. You've expressed to me that you have found it difficult to stay up to date with technology,
Yeah.
right? You and technology aren't getting along
Yeah.
too well. No, don't let this thing, because this is gonna be like going from a candle to a light bulb.
Yeah.
This is gonna be going from a horse and buggy to a car.
So I did have one more thing. The crazy areas where this could go. But I want to know what's your opinion on it. Do you think that uh demonic possession is is a thing?
Oh yeah, it's true. I just don't think that a lot of people who believe they are.
Oh no, I'm not talking about just the actual, people. I'm talking about, do you think that it could possess things? Because
Possess
in
things.
Africa specifically, they have a lot of voodoo over
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
And what they do, especially towards the shoreline, is they have these entities that they worship or praise and summon spirits into, and these things start dancing and they start moving around and this and that. And a whole bunch of cultures have done that over the years. This is an old thing where they would summon a spirit into a thing that they created, and then it will start interacting and this or that. And we've seen other things like, our American side of things commercialized, like the Annabelle or the this or the that, these types of physical creations then having some type of demonic attachment or some type of spiritual negativity around it, and emanating off of it, and cursed objects, and specifically cursed objects. I want to highlight cursed objects because the way that you were talking about AI, I wanted to add it in there. It's almost like you could say it's Moses' staff. Now,
Yeah. That.
Moses' staff has the ability to do all these things through what God allowed it to have happen only in Moses' hands. If somebody else grabbed that staff, it wasn't going to do these things. And if Moses wasn't in line with God, the staff still wouldn't have done those things on its own. The Lord allowed it to have that happen through the willingness of Moses. In his obedience was the staff able to do anything. The staff itself wasn't anything special. The staff was a staff that then the Lord allowed it to become something because he was because Moses was in obedience.
Well, that's the first place in my mind went to is, does the Bible show any item being possessed or indwelt by a spirit, or being animated by a spirit, having some form of life or movement? I would have to look at that first. Nothing is coming to my mind.
The enemy, when Pharaoh had his two people bring his things, and then that it got, but that's to prove that witchcraft does exist and that sorcery and that type of activity happens, whether or not we want to acknowledge it or not.
Well, that's the first place that my mind went to, and we just talked about it last week too. But the thing wasn't possessed. The thing turned into something else. That's not the same thing. We're talking about
Yeah.
something. This
No. Well,
pencil
yeah. Yeah.
becoming
No,
possessed.
that's what I'm saying. What I'm if Moses had a staff, right? That God had it doing something, went to the enemy, and the enemy had a witch have a staff do something else.
Or did the same thing.
It was not able to defeat God's creation, but it did turn into something more than it was through the enemy. So, with that being said, are we acknowledging that the enemy is able to do stuff with physical things? Yes or no? Because the enemy did do that. The Bible brings it up that the enemy was able to change the physical characteristics of something to even go against what God had physically right there in front of him. So the enemy can do something like that. If we had made, or I mean, like Tesla is doing, like Tesla has a robot, could a spirit possess the robot?
Well, I would have to look at the word and see to try to give you an answer on that. I never thought about that. So I have to get back to you on that.
Scary though. If that is a powerful thing. especially if you're like, you know, elderly and you're in the house by yourself and you have this robot that's helping you do chores around the house and your husband just died and you're just, you know, 82 years old and you got this robot that then turned evil and wants you dead.
All right, I think the show is going off the rails, ladies and
You're gonna have a
gentlemen.
hard one.
I guess that's it for us today. Thank you very much, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to do the like and subscribe, leave a comment.